Hello, my name is Cameron, and I'm here to answer a question asked by Sayada.h. Let me begin by sharing my screen. I initially tried to answer this question with the built-in text editor, but something's going wrong when I submit. So instead, I've written up my own Jupyter notebook. I've copied the question for convenience. The question is, which of the following statements, A, B, or C, is false? The first statement, A, NumPy provides functions zeros, ones, and full for creating arrays containing zeros, ones, or a specified value respectively. This statement can be verified by looking at the documentation for the NumPy functions. For the zeros function in the NumPy library, you can see that its purpose is to return a new array of given shape and type filled with zeros. The ones function says the same thing, but filled with ones. And the full function says the same thing, but filled with fill value, which is the second parameter here. So the documentation would indicate that statement A is true. We'll verify that later in checking the truth of the other statements. Statement B, the first argument to the functions in part A must be an integer or a tuple of integers specifying the desired dimensions. For an integer, each function returns a one-dimensional array with a specified number of elements. For a tuple of integers, these functions return a multidimensional array with specified dimensions. Well, the documentation would indicate that this is true because the shape parameter can be a tuple of integers or an integer itself, and that determines the shape of the returned array. This is true for ones and full as well. But we can also verify this ourselves by running some code. Let's run the zeros function with an input parameter for shape of 2. It generates an array of length 2 filled with zeros, as we would expect. Putting in 2 for the shape in the function ones, we get an array of length 2 filled with ones. No surprise. Inputting 2 for the shape and hello as the fill value into the full function, we see an array of length 2 filled with hello, the same string. Now, if we use a tuple of integers, 2, 3 in this case, into the zeros function, we see a 2 by 3 array filled with zeros. Into the ones function, we see a 2 by 3 array filled with ones. And if we put the same parameters into the full function, we can see that it is a 2 by 3 array filled with hello. So statement B also appears to be true. Now on to statement C. The array returned by the NumPy function full contains elements with the second argument's value and type. Well, once again, the documentation would indicate the data type, if not supplied, and by default it is not, it defaults to NumPy array fill value data type. So it would indicate that the data type is the same. And we can verify that ourselves as well. A NumPy array of 1 filled with the value 1, it has a data type of a 32-bit integer. And if we use the same value as the fill value in full, we will see the data type of every element in the array is a 32-bit integer. We can try the same thing with a floating point number. And it is a float 64 if we feed it into an array of length 1. And using the same value into the full function, we see that it is a 64-bit float. And another final example, the hello string is in Unicode 5 length string. Is the data type here. And full is the same data type. So statement C is true as well. So the answer to this question is all of the above statements are true. Thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful.